Welcome to the Four Listeners Program. Welcome aboard. We're very happy that you gave us a download and given us a listen this week. We very much appreciate it. On the mics this week, we have my man, your man, the Z-Man. What's up, Zeth?
'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where you ought to be.
Dude, I want to punch you in the face right now.
And on the other mic, we have the illustrious Corey G. What is up, sir?
What's up, dude?
Not too much. What's up, everybody? I'm Spear. Welcome to the show. This week, I'm going to kick it over to my boy Corey G, who's got this week Something Must Be Done About.
So, Monday, it's a crappy Monday in the office. Get invited out to lunch with the boss, which, you can't say no to. So we go to this fancy pants place. It's generally a nice restaurant, but you could tell it's one of those upscale, froofy type places. I'm looking at the menu, and in the sandwich section, because I didn't feel like a burger and I didn't want a fancy pants $20 entree for lunch that I wouldn't eat. So I'm looking, sandwich section, and what jumps out at me? Reuben flatbread. Now, and I'll admit, some of it's my fault, but I see the word Reuben, and that recalls to me the Reuben fucking sandwich that everybody knows.
Reubens are, in fact, very tasty.
Yeah, they're fantastic. So I see that, and I love a good Reuben, and I'll try one anywhere just to see if it's something worth coming back to. So that's what I get. Eventually we're all talking and all that stuff, and eventually the food comes out. And the waiter comes out, and he sets down this thing that looks exactly like the appetizer we ordered. And I said, we already got that. And he kind of looks at me, and he stumbles out, this is the Reuben flatbread. And I'm like, speechless for a good, 3 seconds. And all I could come back with is, okay, all right. And it was bread that looked like crackers with bacon bit-sized crumbles of corned beef. I don't even think it had Swiss cheese on it. And some Russian dressing drizzled on like one of those stupid meals they prepare on Top Chef or whatever. And that was the Reuben flatbread sandwich under the sandwich section. It was terrible.
That's fucked up.
So something must be done about restaurants and their shitty menus and tricking you into getting something that sucks.
You know how they trick you into getting something that sucks? They do it by way of saying we have reinvented this classic dish. We've deconstructed this classic dish. Dishes should not be deconstructed. They should not be reinvented. You do not need to put a twist on a classic. If it's a classic for a reason.
Yeah, well, I'd be perfectly happy with it if they came up with that themselves and called it something, and I read the ingredients or looked at the picture and said, oh, I think I'd like to try that. Regardless of the name, but when you see the word Reuben, it's like a trademark, There's a reason you can't use that stuff without licensing it or getting the approval.
Yeah, it conjures the idea of, wait for it, a fucking sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a problem with it too, and it's always the fruitful restaurants that need to do food with presentation. It's always about making it pretty or making it look fancy or what have you. Fuck you, just make it taste good. Friend of ours at work tells this story where he went to some frou-frou restaurant in Manhattan, ate for like 3 hours. Ate for 3 hours, frou-frou plates with like the little stacks of food that are all pretty and prepared, and that presentation thing again. But the food wasn't filling. There was nothing to the food. He ate for 3 hours, walked out with a friend of his, was walking down the street towards Penn Station or wherever they were going, turned around and said, "You know what? Are you hungry?" "Yeah. Let's go get a hot dog."
and I bet you that dinner wasn't cheap.
No, it ended up being like $100 a person. That's the point. Is at the end of a 3-hour meal that probably cost you $100 and $150 a person, What did you do afterwards? You went down and you got yourself $1.50 hot dog. That's what I'm talking about. You know? Food shouldn't be difficult. It should just be good. But I mean,
Yeah.
what it does is it just illustrates how food has gone crazy. Food has gone crazy. Things that were simple have now been made very difficult. And don't get me started on the simplest of foods. The simplest of foods is bread. Bread is simple, right? Always what it's been the staple of human life. And there is one sandwich place that has completely ruined it for me. Panera Bread. Panera Bread has ruined bread for me, and I'll tell you why. Growing up in New York, I used to be able to go to any deli at the corner. I used to be able to go up to the corner deli, and I used to be able to get myself a nice loaf of semolina bread. Italian semolina bread, I used to be able to get it for like 69 cents. 69 cents for a loaf of bread, because that's how much bread should be. It's basic. I walked into a Panera Bread one day, looking to go get a sandwich. And I walk in there, and I see on the rack they have, behind the counter, they have a whole rack of bread, and there's a loaf of bread there, and underneath there was a label that said, Artisan Semolina Bread. I went, oh, look at that, Artisan Semolina Bread. And I looked at how much it was. It was $6.50. And I literally lost my mind. I'm going $6.50 for a loaf of bread. For artisan bread? There's no artistry to bread. There's no artisans back there. Da Vinci's not back there baking bread. It's just friggin' bread. Okay, I'm done.
I don't know what to say to that, except I fully support you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. This is what I'm saying. Simple things made difficult. They don't need to be hard. They don't need to be hard. You know what the other thing is? Simple thing? Coffee. Coffee should be simple.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee at its core is just water filtered through ground up burnt beans. Many, many people in this country and abroad pay like $4.50 a cup for the privilege of drinking dirty water. And I don't understand it. Again, same thing. You used to, whatever happened to just having a cup of Joe? You guys remember that? You guys remember when coffee was simple?
I think coffee tastes like shit, but
I don't drink coffee either.
Oh, fuck you guys. Okay, fine. Does anybody out there remember? Anybody listening? I need you guys to help me out here. Remember when coffee was simple? It used to be simple. You used to have the guys sitting on the porch in Brooklyn, and they go, hey kid, give me a cup of coffee. And the kid would go and they'd run and get him a cup of coffee. Right? Today, here's the old guy sitting on the porch. Hey kid walks by. Hey kid, here, come here, here's $1. Go give me a cup of coffee. Right? And the kid looks at the dollar and goes, I can't get you a cup of coffee for $1. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Forget about it. Why don't you go give me a cup of coffee? And the guy's saying, I can't get you a cup of coffee because it costs $4 to get you a cup of coffee. And the old guy says, fuck it, I'll just do it myself. Forget about it. Forget about it, kid. I'll just go take care of it. And he walks into the Starbucks around the corner, because there's a Starbucks in every corner. And he walks in there and he has no idea. He says, give me a cup of coffee. And the barista, whatever the hell that means, is behind the counter going, what's a cup of coffee? What would you like? Would you like a tall? Would you like a grande? Would you like a venti? What the fuck is a venti?
I actually know the answer to that.
Shut up. It's not important. The point is,
it
doesn't matter. The point is, there should not be a special language in order to order a cup of coffee. I don't get it. I don't get overblown bread, and I don't get overblown coffee. And I'm waiting for the example of when there's a place that just does the basics and just does them really well.
Wawa. I think Wawa is a perfect example for those of you from Pennsylvania. Wawa is a 7-Eleven like establishment.
No, don't even compare it to 7-Eleven.
No, it's 10 times
I
better
said
than
7-Eleven like. It's open 24 hours.
A convenience store.
Well, I'm just
It's a
trying to
convenience store.
emphasize how much better Wawa is than 7-Eleven.
Wawa's the shit. So first of all, they made the hardest part the easiest part. You go in there, there's a touchscreen kiosk. You tell exactly what you want on your sandwich. You go in there, you touch the button, you say, I want a hot sandwich, I want a cold sandwich, I want this meat, I want that meat, I want this condiment, I want that spice, I want it heated, toasted, extra cheese, extra bacon, and boom, within a couple minutes, you have a sandwich made exactly the way you want it.
And you don't have to talk to anybody.
And you don't have to talk to anyone, there's no miscommunication, everything's perfect. Contrast that with Subway. Subway should be better. They've got the fresh baked bread. They've got I don't know what else they got that's supposed to be better. But you go in there, and the first thing that I can't stand, they ask you what kind of bread you want, which is great. The second question should be, what condiment do you want? Because condiments go on bread. Condiments do not go at the end of the line, which is how Subway does it. I want a turkey sandwich. The turkey sandwich should be made in the following order. You put mayonnaise on the turkey sandwich, on the bread. You put the provolone cheese down. You put the turkey down. You put the lettuce on top. Done. You do not put the mayonnaise on the turkey. It should not touch lettuce. It should not touch the turkey. It should only touch cheese.
Totally
I
back you up on
completely
that one.
and wholeheartedly agree.
Completely back you up. I completely agree, and I think that if you're going to do something, simple, do it simply and elevate it. Elevate it with good stuff. Don't deconstruct. Don't reinvent. Do the classics.
Example, Friendly Toast. Friendly Toast does diner right. It is the best place to eat for breakfast. For lunch is good too, but it's old school, diner-like style, but they kind of put it in that kind of grunge kind of thing. Everybody there's got 6 piercings and 20 tattoos and all that stuff. So you're not going in there for the service. The service there usually sucks. But the food is ridiculous. You're looking at least 1,200 in calories on anything you order. It's not healthy conscious. It's not anybody on a diet should be going in there. But you go in there for breakfast. They got king cakes. King cakes are 2 chocolate chip pancakes that have peanut butter and banana in the middle, smothered in whipped cream, and it's fucking ridiculously amazing. The other one they got is the GDGC, goddamn grilled cheese. It is the best grilled cheese you'll ever eat. It's 2 giant slices of bread, all golden brown, just like I said. I don't know what kind of cheese they got in it. They got 3 different types of cheese in it. But then they give you a strawberry habanero dipping sauce. Now, strawberries and habaneros don't sound like they go very well together. And it definitely doesn't sound like something you want to put your cheese sandwich in. But goddamn, it's amazing. It is just it's got a little bit of spice. It's got a little bit of a little strawberry, a little fruit, and then boom, cheese and oil and goodness. And I want to go eat one right now.
See, but that just proves the point, right? That absolutely proves the point that you don't need to screw with a good thing. A grilled cheese sandwich fundamentally is good on its own. You don't need to frou-frou it up. You just need to elevate it with good stuff. And if you give it the strawberry habanero thing, all right, fine, that's fantastic. And it sounds pretty good actually. You know, maybe there's a little sweet and a little spicy. I like that idea,
yeah,
right?
A little hot, little sauce.
Yeah, I like that. But that's the point. You know, it should just be elevated. Food does not have to be difficult. You know, the best food that you get are from like dive bars. Diners do it the best every day. You know, like you said, what's the name of that place? Burnt Toast? What was the name of it?
Friendly Toast.
Friendly Toast, whatever, right? These kind of diner places, these dive bar places, they give you the best food because it just comes out as food. It doesn't have to be difficult.
One of the best sandwiches I ever ate was at midnight in Germany. It was a gyro. Is it gyro? Is that how you pronounce it?
Gyro.
A gyro.
Whatever. How do you get the anyway? And that's all it was. I didn't speak the dude's language. He wasn't German. I think he was Turkish. But it was the best fucking sandwich I've ever had. And all it was is a word, thing on a menu.
Yeah. So the other great place you can get halfway decent food is a lunch truck. You know, just the random trucks that are just kind of lying about on the streets or the streets of a city that you're wandering around in. I mean, we used to have these great lunch trucks.
All Greeks,
where you could get halfway decent food for just a couple of bucks, and it was always the classics, right? It was always like the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich,
grilled chicken on a long royal, honey mustard, lettuce and pickle.
There you go.
That was my go-to.
You know, I mean, it was always, and you could always get the soft pretzels. I mean, it was. And everything was made to order. And that was the other thing about those trucks is anything you wanted was almost always made to order and was made exactly the way you wanted it.
And made in 2 minutes.
And made in 2 minutes. And there was nothing frou-frou about it.
Give a shout out to Taco Lou.
Taco Lou. Oh, so for those of you listening who didn't go to Drexel University
Or Penn.
or Penn, Taco Lou was a truck that used to hang out on 34th Street, and there was a guy in there who always wore a cowboy hat. Wasn't it? Was it a cowboy hat or just
Yeah, I guess Stetson or something
or like a
that.
fedora of some kind?
Yeah.
And his name was Lou, and he made all night long. He didn't open up that truck during the day. All night long on the weekends, he
10
would
p.m.
just
Yeah,
he would
start
just
at 10 p.m.
what's that?
Start at 10 p.m.
Starting at 10 p.m. all night long, he would just make burritos,
Nachos,
nachos,
tacos.
quesadillas. And let me tell you something, folks. At 3 o'clock in the morning, when you've been drinking, that taco was the single best thing. That burrito was the single best thing you've ever had in your whole goddamn life.
Here it is. Here's the 4 listeners' guide of how not to get shit that sucks at a restaurant. If it has the words drizzle or infused
Or
In the
mango salsa.
in the description, you should not eat it.
Amen to that, brother. What else? Drizzle, infused.
New wave or new age, anything with the word new.
Or when they use alternative words for common ingredients, like oregano and margarine.
If they use a thesaurus to come up with the description of the burger of the meal,
Yeah, if you can't read the menu and understand what you're ordering, you should probably walk out of that restaurant. You know what I mean?
Order the salad. Always go with the Caesar salad. That always is safe.
Okay, but that's if you walk into a restaurant and you can't identify ingredients because you haven't watched, 2,000 continuous hours of the Food Network, then you should just walk out of that place because clearly they are just messing with your mind.
Yeah.
So if you have a favorite place that you like to go to for simple food done right, go ahead and post it on our Facebook page. And we finally got ourselves a vanity URL, y'all.
Woo!
Got 26 people to like our Facebook page, so you can find us at facebook.com/4listeners, or you can go to the old standby 4listeners.com. I say old standby, we've had it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So you can check us out. Check us on Facebook at 4listeners.com or facebook.com/4listeners. Tell your friends. Make sure you like the page and post your suggestions, folks. I mean, if there are places that you remember that had awesome food, post them up there. If there's
places that still can't make a fucking cheese sandwich right.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So if there's a frou-frou restaurant that reinvented something and you went, what the hell was this? Post it on the Facebook page. Also, if you have any suggestions for something that must be done about, go ahead and post it on the page. If we get a feel for it, maybe we might use it as a show topic. And definitely check us out on iTunes. We're on iTunes now. Search for 4 listeners, and we'll crop up. Make sure you set your subscription so that you can get the week-to-week madness. Check us out week to week, and we thank you for checking us out this week. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Thanks a bunch.